Hey there, Kathy and Dana here. We've just been in a little planning meeting for the fourth session of Inner Wisdom Activation, and we've been chatting a little bit about what does it look like when we bring our inner wisdom out into the world. Essentially, how do we externalize our inner wisdom and what does it look like? And I think that there's a part of that which is really owning or embracing some of the talents and the gifts that we have and allowing them to provide guidance for how we show up in life. And that could look anything like adding in some new personal practice or maybe deepening a personal practice that we might have, which could be meditation or other ways of accessing inner knowing or guidance, like if we have a tarot card practice or some other practice. Sometimes walking is a practice, being out in nature, those kinds of things. It could look like how we are with other people. Like, are we fully showing up for the people in our lives? And maybe sometimes it's like fully showing up for a random person we encounter at the grocery store or out on a walk. And it could look like some offering, like Dana and I've been creating this inner wisdom activation program that really is an offering that's come from us wanting to externalize our own gifts and talents in a way that for me helps me deepen my personal practice around connection to my spiritual lineage. I'll just stop there.
Nice. Yeah, I think us being able to be in this practice together and sensing in together and being on a journey that's not totally familiar in relationship with someone. Like normally I do a lot of these things, but on my own and not
Mm,
necessarily in a way that's more visible and externalizing it. I was on a little holiday this weekend with a
yeah.
group of people, and we were all going on a hike for my friend's 50th in Yosemite. And we got there and there was 11 of us, and half of us ended up doing the hike and the other half of us ended up not doing so much of the hike because we just were not able to. And we had a 30-pound child with us. So anyways, it was a lot of intuition around like, what are we going to do? Are we going to go? Are we going to not go? And all of this
Mm,
stuff happening. But what ended up happening was everything that was supposed to happen. um, and I ended up being paired up with one person in particular who I know but not super well, and it ended up being just this much what was needed in the moment. And the birthday girl who we were celebrating was worried because everybody was scattered, and so she was kind of challenged by that. But what we figured out was everybody had the experience they were supposed to have, but they all had to check in with themselves about what they needed to be doing. Do I need to
oh,
go on
so
this hike? Do
important.
I not need to go on this hike? So
Mm,
it just made me think of that as you were speaking. It's like those moments where we get what we're supposed to do
mm-hmm.
and we follow that, and then sort of magic appears.
Yeah, I like that. And you reminded me that I've been feeling a little out of sorts lately related to a particular um, other project that's kind of going on that my partner and I are involved in. And there's a lack of clarity over what the next steps are going to be, totally out of our control. And I was thinking about that a little bit today, and all of a sudden, what popped into my mind was that I'm feeling a little heartbroken about the situation. And it was really interesting to have the words or the word come up that identified what I what I've been experiencing, and then you can let go of the feeling without having named it, but it just feels so much more articulate. I don't know. To be able to go, here's heartbreak, and now let how do I release that, as
Mm.
opposed to here's this vague emotional feeling which doesn't feel great. Um, I can release that, but like I said, it just seems more powerful when it's named. It's more, it's clear.
Yeah. And you get to a deeper level with it. than that superficial initial ouch.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the letting go, as we've been talking about in some of our other videos, the letting go is also a practice to be able to release that. And now it feels like I can release it with
Mm,
a greater intentionality, and then that creates the space for something else to replace it,
mhm.
like peace.
Yes, absolutely. Totally. I'm on such a parallel track to you right now. I was like, that letting go
Yeah.
thing felt so right on time last week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think, this is part of the accessing our inner wisdom and our inner knowing, because we started on this journey we had some ideas, but we weren't really sure what it was going to look like in the end. But we've just been following what's the next step, what's the next step. And it's brought us to this like beautiful place with a bunch of beautiful people and an idea and a community that is continuing to grow.
Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. All right. Good stuff.
Bye for now.
Take care.